Listen carefully. Your mind has been shaped by pressure, expectations, and silent battles you never asked for, not because you're weak, but because the world trains you to forget your own power. They want you distracted, emotional, reactive, because a reactive man is predictable, and a predictable man is easy to control. But you're here because something inside you refuses to remain ordinary, something sharper, colder, more disciplined, a force that demands evolution. Machiavelli taught that the strongest kingdoms are built from the inside out. Your mind is that kingdom. Your thoughts are the walls. Your emotions are the guards at the gate. Your discipline is the throne. If you don't rule this inner empire, someone else will invade it. And they already have, through opinions, doubts, fears, and the noise of weak people who want you to shrink. But today that ends. Today, you rebuild. Not softly, not gently, but with precision and brutal clarity. You stop reacting. You start deciding. You stop explaining. You start commanding. From this moment forward, everything about you sharpens. If you're truly ready to rise, comment, "I build myself by force." Section 1. The mind you let die and the mind you will rebuild. Before you rebuild your mind, you must understand the one you allowed to crumble. The truth is simple. You weren't broken by life. You were softened by comfort. You let people's opinions infiltrate your thoughts. You let emotions override strategy. You let the noise of the world drown the voice of your own instincts. And slowly, piece by piece, your mental fortress weakened. Not because you lacked strength, but because you forgot you were supposed to protect it. Machiavelli believed that a ruler who neglects his defenses invites his own downfall. The same rule applies to your mind. When you stopped guarding your focus, distractions marched in. When you stopped controlling your emotions, manipulation followed. When you stopped enforcing your boundaries, people walked through you like an open door. And the saddest part, you knew it was happening. You felt the drain, the confusion, the fog, but you didn't fight it until now. Now, you are becoming something different, something sharper, something unshakable. The old mind died because it was built on reactions, doubts, and emotional dependence. The new mind will rise through deliberate action, cold logic, discipline, and ruthless self-respect. You will rebuild your thinking like an architect designs a fortress, calculated, intentional, impenetrable. Every thought will have purpose. Every boundary will have strength. Every decision will have dominance behind it. This is not about becoming heartless. This is about becoming untouchable. A man who chooses his emotions instead of being enslaved by them. A man who moves with silent strategy, not noisy desperation. A man who commands his world because he first commands himself. If you're committed to creating this new mind, comment, "My mind obeys me." Section 2. The first law of rebuilding: control your inner voice. A man's mind is conquered long before his life is. And the first battlefield is the voice inside your head. That whisper controls everything: your confidence, your focus, your decisions, your reaction to pressure. If that voice is weak, you will be weak, no matter how strong your body looks. But if that voice becomes sharp, disciplined, and ruthless, nothing outside you can break you. Most people let their inner voice become a collection of fears they absorbed from others. Their doubts aren't even theirs. Their insecurities were inherited, their hesitation was learned, and their mental weakness was programmed by a world that profits from keeping them confused. Machiavelli warned that a ruler who cannot command himself will eventually be commanded by others. The same applies to your internal dialogue. From today, your inner voice must become your weapon, not your enemy. You will no longer say, "I can't." You will say, "I will." You will no longer say, "What if I fail?" You will say, "What if I dominate?" You will no longer say, "I'm not enough." You will say, "I'm becoming unstoppable." This shift is not motivational fluff. It is psychological warfare. Every strong mind was built from words repeated until they became reality. Every weak mind was destroyed by words repeated until they became chains. So, rewrite the script. Speak to yourself like a commander addressing his soldiers. Use language that strengthens your resolve, hardens your mentality, and forces you to rise instead of retreat. The world will test you, people will provoke you, life will pressure you. But your inner voice will determine whether you collapse or conquer. If you're ready to control that voice, comment, "My mind follows my command." Section 3. The second law, master your emotional temperature. If your inner voice is the general, then your emotions are the soldiers, and soldiers without discipline destroy their own kingdom. This is why most people self-sabotage. They react too fast, speak too soon, and collapse too easily. Their emotions run wild, and they spend their lives cleaning the mess created by their own impulses. A man who cannot control his emotional temperature is a man who can be manipulated by anyone with a little pressure. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He believed that power belongs to the one who stays calm when everyone else is shaking. Emotional control isn't about suppressing what you feel. It's about directing your energy with strategy instead of impulse. Every emotion you feel, anger, fear, disappointment, desire, contains power. But power without discipline becomes destruction. Power with discipline becomes dominance. When someone disrespects you, don't react. Observe. When life pressures you, don't panic. Calculate. When things don't go as planned, don't complain. Adapt. Your emotional temperature must remain cold, steady, untouchable. Because the man who stays calm holds the advantage. The man who stays calm sees what others miss. And the man who stays calm becomes the one no one can predict or control. This is how you rebuild your mind, by refusing to let emotions drag you where logic wouldn't go. You become the kind of man who thinks before moving, moves before speaking, and speaks only when necessary. That level of emotional discipline makes you dangerous in the best way, focused, precise, unreadable. From today onward, your emotions follow your command, not the chaos around you. If you're ready to master this law, comment, "Calm is my power." Section 4. The third law. Cut off the noise that corrupts your focus. Your mind cannot rebuild itself if it is constantly drowning in noise. Noise from people. Noise from social media. Noise from opinions. Noise from a world that forces you to pay attention to everything except yourself. And this is not accidental. This is psychological warfare designed to make you forget your own power. Because a distracted mind becomes a defeated mind. A man who cannot focus cannot lead. And a man who cannot lead himself will always be led by someone stronger, louder, or more manipulative. Machiavelli taught that a great ruler protects his kingdom from unnecessary influences. Your mind is that kingdom, and every piece of useless noise is an invading army. Most men consume information that weakens them: arguments, gossip, comparison, emotional drama, endless scrolling, and opinions from people who haven't built anything in their lives. You cannot construct a powerful mind with cheap materials. Your attention is your greatest currency, and you've been spending it on trash that gives you nothing in return. From today, you cut the noise. You stop listening to people who think small. You stop engaging with negativity that drains you. You stop chasing validation from the crowd. You stop feeding on distractions that turn your mind soft. Instead, you create silence around you, silence that sharpens, strengthens, and rebuilds you. In silence, your thoughts become clearer, your strategy becomes sharper, your purpose becomes louder. A powerful man is not always the one who speaks. Often, he is the one who observes quietly and moves strategically. The world wants your attention because attention gives them power. But when you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your throne. You rebuild your mind with intention. You use your silence as a weapon. You train your focus like a blade until it can cut through anything: excuses, fear, confusion, and emotional weakness. Every minute you waste on noise is a minute stolen from your evolution. So guard your focus like a king guards his crown. Protect your mind like a fortress under constant attack, and let silence become your strongest shield. If you're ready to eliminate the noise corrupting your power, comment, "My focus is sacred." Section 5. The fourth law. Reprogram your self-image with ruthless precision. Every action you take, every boundary you set, every decision you make comes from one hidden source: the image you hold of yourself. Your self-image is the silent architect behind your confidence, your discipline, your reactions, and even your failures. Most men don't fail because they lack strength. They fail because they see themselves as someone who cannot rise, and that internal picture becomes a prison they never escape. If you want to rebuild your mind, you must first rebuild the man who lives inside it. Here is the truth. The world treated you according to the image you broadcasted. When you saw yourself as uncertain, people pushed you. When you saw yourself as unworthy, people ignored you. When you saw yourself as replaceable, people treated you like an option. Nothing changes until the way you see yourself changes first. Machiavelli understood that a ruler must project strength even before he becomes strong, because perception shapes power long before reality catches up. Your new self-image must be constructed deliberately, piece by piece, law by law, with ruthless precision. This is not pretending. This is alignment. You become the man you repeatedly tell yourself you are. You rise into the identity you consistently reinforce. Your mind does not obey motivation, it obeys identity. So you must ask yourself, who am I becoming? A man who bends under pressure, or a man who becomes sharper because of it? A man who doubts every step, or a man who calculates every movement? A man who chases approval, or a man who commands respect without speaking? You choose your identity the same way a king chooses his armor, with intention. This identity becomes your foundation. Once rebuilt, nothing shakes it. But rebuilding your self-image requires 3 ruthless steps. Step 1. Remove the old labels. Everything they called you, weak, emotional, confused, inconsistent, must die. These were not identities, they were projections from people who feared your potential. Step 2. Define the new identity. Write it, speak it, reinforce it daily. I am disciplined. I am calm. I am strategic. I am unstoppable. These are not affirmations. They are mental orders. Step 3. Act in alignment. Every action you take must match the identity you are building. If the new you wouldn't react, neither do you. If the new you wouldn't chase, neither do you. If the new you wouldn't break, then you stay unbroken. A strong mind is not created by chance, it is engineered. And the man you become is the man you design. If you're ready to rebuild your identity with cold intention, comment, "I create myself." Section 6. The fifth law. Build an unbreakable mental fortress through strategic solitude. There is a reason powerful men throughout history valued solitude. It is the breeding ground of clarity, dominance, and unshakable mental strength. Weak men fear being alone because solitude exposes their undisciplined minds. But strong men embrace it because solitude sharpens them into weapons. Machiavelli understood this well. He wrote, studied, and strategized in silence, knowing that a ruler who cannot command himself in solitude will crumble when confronted by the world. Strategic solitude is not loneliness. It is a conscious withdrawal from mental pollution. It is a tactical retreat into yourself to rebuild, rewire, and reinforce your inner world. Most people surround themselves with noise because silence reveals the truth about who they are. But you are rebuilding your mind the Machiavellian way. And that requires stepping back from distractions, emotional leeches, and chaotic environments long enough to transform your mental architecture. When you enter solitude, your mind begins to reorganize itself. Your thoughts settle, your priorities rearrange. The fog clears. You begin seeing yourself without the distortions created by society or weak influences. You become brutally honest about your weaknesses and brutally focused on your strengths. This honesty is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. A man who avoids discomfort will never evolve. A man who confronts it will become untouchable. Strategic solitude also gives you the power to control your environment. Instead of reacting to chaos, you create a controlled space where your mind can grow stronger. A space where you read, plan, think, and discipline your emotions. A space where you become the mastermind of your own life, rather than a puppet tangled in the strings of society's expectations. But solitude must be structured. There are 3 pillars that turn solitude into power. Pillar 1, reflection. You examine your decisions, your habits, your triggers, and your patterns. You confront what sabotages you. You study what strengthens you. Reflection turns confusion into strategy. Pillar 2, reinforcement. You feed your mind deliberately. Books that sharpen you, silence that calms you, and thoughts that strengthen your identity. You replace random mental input with intentional mental construction. Pillar 3, recalibration. This is where you adjust your path. You decide who stays in your life and who is cut off. You refine your goals. You align your actions with the identity you are building. You emerge clearer, colder, stronger. Most men never experience this transformation because they cannot detach from distractions long enough to hear their own minds. They fear boredom, so they never discover their discipline. They fear silence, so they never meet their true potential. They fear being alone, so they never build the strength to stand on their own. But you are not becoming most men. You are becoming a man who uses solitude as a weapon. A man who understands that the world cannot break what it cannot reach. A man whose mental fortress is built from stillness, strategy, and self-command. Strategic solitude is where your evolution begins. In this silence, you do not weaken. You forge yourself anew. You step out of the noise and into your own power. You rebuild yourself into a man who doesn't waver, doesn't chase, and doesn't crumble under pressure. If you're ready to use solitude to rise above the noise, comment, "I strengthen in silence." Section 7, the 6th law. Reclaim your power by controlling what you respond to. If you want to understand a man's strength, don't look at the size of his muscles. Look at the things that trigger him. A man who reacts to everything is a man controlled by everything. A man who responds only when he chooses is a man who holds the power. And in the Machiavellian way of rebuilding your mind, one truth stands above almost everything else. Your reaction is your greatest currency. The moment you give it away cheaply, you weaken yourself. Most people live like emotional puppets. Someone insults them, they react. Someone disagrees, they argue. Someone ignores them, they panic. Someone disrespects them, they explode. Weak men dance to the strings pulled by others. Strong men cut the strings. Machiavelli taught that power belongs to the one who dictates the terms of engagement, not the one who dances to every provocation. Your goal is not to suppress your emotions, it is to master when, how, and if you respond. Every response is an investment of energy, and every reaction broadcasts your emotional temperature to the world. When you react instantly, you tell people you can be controlled. When you respond slowly, calmly, strategically, you tell people you are not moved by cheap tactics. This alone separates ordinary men from powerful ones. Start with this principle. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not every comment deserves your defense. Not every insult deserves your anger. Not every situation deserves your involvement. Not every person deserves your attention. When you understand this, your mental power multiplies. Silence becomes your advantage. Stillness becomes your strategy. Restraint becomes your dominance. Most people think power is loud. In truth, the highest form of power is control. Control over your impulses, control over your emotions, and control over your reactions. Here's the psychological shift. When someone provokes you, you pause, you analyze, you let them reveal themselves fully. The impatient always expose their weaknesses. The reactive always expose their fears. The emotional always expose their insecurities. But the silent, strategic man exposes nothing. He watches, he learns, he waits. And when he finally responds, his response lands like a strike of precision, cold, calculated, and effective. This level of restraint requires training. It requires separating your ego from your intelligence. The ego wants to prove something. Intelligence wants to achieve something. The ego reacts. Intelligence strategizes. And you are rebuilding your mind through intelligence, not ego. There are 3 methods to control your reactions. Method 1, emotional delay. When something triggers you, don't respond immediately. Let the emotion rise. Let it pass. Let it settle. Then act from clarity, not chaos. A delayed reaction is often the correct reaction. Method 2, behavioral minimalism. React with the smallest action possible. The less you give away, the more unpredictable and powerful you become. Short replies, calm tone, still posture, eyes that reveal nothing. This creates psychological dominance effortlessly. Method 3, selective engagement. Engage only when there is value, strategic value, emotional value, growth value. If it doesn't elevate you, strengthen you, or protect your peace, it is beneath your response. Kings don't fight every battle. They fight the ones that secure their future. When you master these methods, people feel your shift. They see that you no longer rise to their provocations. They notice that their words no longer break your focus. They recognize that your silence is no longer weakness, it is power. And that realization alone changes how they treat you. They become cautious, they become respectful, they become uncertain, because the man who cannot be provoked is the man who cannot be controlled. You are rebuilding your mind into that man, a man who stands firm while others shake. A man who calculates while others panic. A man whose reactions are not emotional explosions, but strategic decisions. A man who has reclaimed his inner throne. If you're ready to control what you respond to and rise above the triggers, comment, "My reactions are mine alone." Section 8. The 7th law. Transform your habits into weapons of discipline and dominance. Habits are the true architects of your mind. People talk about motivation, inspiration, or confidence, but none of that survives without habits holding the foundation together. A man's habits reveal who he is becoming long before he notices it himself. Weak habits create weak minds. Strong habits create unbreakable minds. And if you want to rebuild yourself through the Machiavellian way, you must stop treating habits like suggestions and start treating them like laws governing your inner kingdom. Most men fail not because they lack potential, but because their habits betray them. They wake up late, scroll endlessly, react emotionally, chase validation, avoid challenges, and seek comfort more than growth. Then they wonder why their mind feels scattered, foggy, unprepared, and powerless. Machiavelli understood that consistency is the backbone of power, because the man who controls his daily actions eventually controls his entire destiny. Your habits must be transformed into weapons that reinforce your identity, your discipline, and your mental dominance. To rebuild your mind, you must upgrade your habits in 3 major dimensions: physical habits, mental habits, and strategic habits. Physical habits. Your body influences your mind more than you realize. A weak, undisciplined body creates a mind that collapses under stress. A strong, disciplined body creates a mind that endures pressure. When you control your sleep, your diet, your training, and your daily physical routines, you send a message to yourself: I am in command. Physical control becomes mental control. Physical discipline becomes psychological armor. Even something as simple as waking up earlier, walking daily, or training consistently sharpens your inner resolve. These habits don't just strengthen your muscles, they strengthen your self-image. Mental habits. Your mind becomes whatever you repeat. Your thoughts carve patterns. Your attention strengthens pathways. If you constantly think in terms of fear, insecurity, comparison, or doubt, your brain adapts to those patterns and reinforces them. But when you teach your mind to think strategically, calmly, and decisively, it rewires itself into a fortress. This is why mental habits must include reading, reflection, journaling, silence, and intentional focus. A Machiavellian mind does not wander. It directs, it studies, it analyzes, it constructs. Mental habits are not rituals, they are training sessions for dominance. Strategic habits. This is where you separate yourself from average men. Strategic habits are the patterns that shape your long-term power. Planning, evaluating, eliminating weak influences, reinforcing strong boundaries, and aligning your actions with your goals. Every day, you must practice the art of strategic thinking. What moves you closer to your vision? What drains your strength? Who strengthens you? Who weakens you? What must be done today to become a stronger man tomorrow? Strategic habits turn your life into a calculated empire instead of a chaotic cycle of random decisions. But habits are not built on motivation, they are built on identity. This is the psychological breakthrough most people never understand. You don't build habits to become disciplined. You build habits because you are disciplined. When your identity shifts, your habits follow effortlessly. Machiavelli taught that a ruler must embody the traits he wants his kingdom to reflect. If he wants loyalty, he must show loyalty. If he wants fear, he must show strength. If he wants power, he must carry himself as powerful. You are the ruler of your inner kingdom, and your habits must reflect the identity you are constructing. To transform your habits into weapons, follow these laws. Law 1. Remove the habits that weaken you. Comfort is the quiet assassin of greatness. Every habit that makes you soft, unfocused, or reactive must be cut out. Not reduced, cut. Weakness cannot coexist with strength. Law 2. Build habits that harden your discipline. Reading, training, waking early, staying organized, planning your day, practicing restraint. These are not tasks, they are rituals of power. Law 3. Reinforce habits with consequences. If you break your own rules and nothing happens, your mind learns that your word has no value. Create consequences for failure and rewards for discipline. Law 4. Protect your habits like a king protects his crown. If someone or something threatens your routine, cut it off. Nothing comes before the structure that shapes your strength. Habits are sacred. A powerful man is not built in a moment. He is built in the daily repetition of actions that strengthen him. Habits are the tools through which you rebuild your mind, fortify your will, and dominate your inner world. When your habits become aligned with your identity, you stop wrestling with discipline. It becomes natural. You stop fighting your mind. It becomes your ally. You stop chasing strength. You become strength. If you're ready to transform your habits into weapons of power, comment, "Discipline builds my throne." Section 9, the 8th law, rewire your reality through cold, strategic self-honesty. 800 words, exact. Rebuilding your mind is impossible without confronting the hardest truth of all. You have lied to yourself more than anyone else ever has. Not out of malice, not out of evil, but out of fear. Fear of seeing your flaws, fear of facing your weaknesses, fear of admitting the real reasons behind your failures. Most men construct illusions to protect their ego, not realizing that ego protection becomes self-destruction. Machiavelli warned that a ruler who refuses to face harsh truths destroys his own kingdom. And your mind is no different. If you want true power, you must practice cold, strategic self-honesty. Self-honesty is not emotional guilt, nor is it self-blame. It is clarity. It is the ability to observe yourself without excuses, without sugarcoating, without softness. This level of honesty becomes your weapon because it reveals exactly what must be rebuilt. Weak men hide from their truth. Strong men dissect it. Weak men blame circumstances. Strong men analyze patterns. Weak men collapse under reality. Strong men reshape it. The Machiavellian mind evolves through self-examination, not judgment, examination. You must evaluate your actions the way a strategist evaluates a battlefield. What move was wrong? What habit weakened you? What emotion misled you? What distraction broke your focus? What relationship drained your spirit? What thought triggered your decline? Only when you see clearly can you rebuild correctly. Most people refuse to do this because truth is uncomfortable. But discomfort is not your enemy. It is your compass. It points to the areas you must strengthen. When you confront your flaws with precision instead of shame, you gain control over them. You cannot fix what you do not face. You cannot rise beyond what you refuse to acknowledge. Self-honesty becomes the doorway to evolution. To rewire your reality, you must master 3 forms of strategic self-honesty. 1. Behavioral honesty. This is where you examine your actions. Were you disciplined or lazy? Focused or distracted? Calm or reactive? Strategic or emotional? You record your patterns with brutal clarity. You do not say, "I tried my best." You say, "Did I do what needed to be done?" Behavioral honesty rewires your habits by exposing the truth behind them. 2. Emotional honesty. This is where you examine your triggers. What angers you? What scares you? What pressures you? What distracts you? Emotions reveal your vulnerabilities, and vulnerability, when understood, becomes strength. When someone provokes you, do you react out of pride, fear, insecurity, or habit? Emotional honesty rewires your responses by revealing the motives beneath them. 3. Identity. Honesty. This is the deepest layer. Who are you really acting like right now? The man you want to become or the man you used to be? Every action either reinforces your new identity or revives your old one. Identity honesty rewires your self-image by holding you accountable to the standard you set. Once you master these 3 forms of honesty, the illusions that once controlled you begin to dissolve. You stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as the architect. You stop blaming external forces and start refining internal structures. You stop living reactively and start ruling proactively. This is the Machiavellian transformation: cold clarity, strategic awareness, and ruthless self-command. But self-honesty alone is not enough. You must combine it with immediate adjustment. Every truth you uncover must be translated into action. If you discover undisciplined habits, you eliminate them. If you identify emotional weaknesses, you train them. If you expose false identities, you reconstruct them. This is how reality rewires itself, through repeated alignment between truth and action. Most men live in denial because denial is comfortable. Reality is harsh. But only reality creates strength. Only reality builds kings. Only reality forges a mind that cannot be manipulated, shaken, or broken. When you face your truth, you take back the power the world stole from you. Cold self-honesty becomes your mirror. And through that mirror, you no longer see the man you were. You see the man you are becoming. Stronger, sharper, paused in silence before making decisions, able to detach when necessary, focused on long-term strategy rather than short-term emotion. That version of you is real, waiting beneath the layers of illusion you once used as a shield. Rebuilding your mind requires nothing less than this level of self-exposure. When you stop lying to yourself, you stop living in weakness. You step into a new psychological reality where strength is not wished for, it is engineered, where power is not accidental, it is intentional, where identity is not inherited, it is constructed through clarity and action. If you're ready to rewire your reality through cold self-honesty, Comment, "I face my truth and rise." If you've listened this far, understand something clearly. Most people never reach this point, not because they lack time, but because they lack courage. They fear the work. They fear the truth. They fear the evolution required to rebuild their mind. But you stayed. You listened. You learned. And that alone separates you from the masses sleepwalking through their own lives. You're not just absorbing words, you're sharpening yourself. You're stepping into a different league, a league where you no longer drift, you direct. You no longer react, you calculate. You no longer explain, you execute. This is how powerful men are built, through intention, discipline, and cold, unwavering self-respect. Now your evolution continues beyond this video. If you want more content that strengthens your mind, hardens your discipline, and teaches you the Machiavellian way of psychological power, then do the smart thing. Subscribe to Mental Fort. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next strategy, the next lesson, the next weapon for your inner arsenal. And before you go, drop your final mark of commitment in the comments. I rise above my old self. Your transformation has begun. Stay sharp, stay disciplined, and stay untouchable.